This is Laura DeFranco, holistic physical therapist and owner of Brave Healer Productions. I'm excited to bring you my new holistic healing series where you're going to learn from the experts what it means to live fiercely alive, mind, body, and soul. I invite you now to take a breath, relax, and feel the vibe of the words my guest has to share with you today. Welcome, everybody. It is my great pleasure to have Janette Stuart on the show today. She is going to help me with this mission I have to change the world one brave word at a time. Janette Stuart, best-selling author, certified angel card reader, blogger, military mom, and emissary of joy at Angel Angles and Well-Being and Wonder, will assist you to own and embrace your divinity and live a life of love, joy, and peace. Gentleness and joy are her superpowers. Yes, welcome, Janette. I'm so happy that you're here today.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here, Laura. Thank you.
And I want to start off today because we are going to talk about gratitude. And I really just want to express how grateful I am to have met you, to know you, and that you are in my life and my world. Thank you so much.
And thank you. And that gratitude goes two ways. So thank you so much for being in mine.
So, listen, the hard part of your story is that you survived pancreatic cancer, and gratitude is a part of how you did that. Would you share your story with us today?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So, about 2 years ago, I started feeling really low energy. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was doing too much. I had just released my fourth book, and I thought, oh, I've just been working too hard and I need a rest, or I had a virus. And I just wasn't right. And then a few weeks later, I started receiving symptoms that were unusual. And like my urine was a dark color, which is a red flag. And there was pain involved, and I have a real high tolerance to pain. So that was another red flag. And then in January of 2019, I had a procedure at a hospital, and a doctor I did not know tenderly held my hand and told me I had pancreatic cancer. And it was shocking. I just thought I was tired. I thought I had a good nutrition plan, and I was exercising until like recently when I didn't have enough energy to do that. So that rocked my world, as you can imagine. And it involved traditional medicine, Western medicine with the chemotherapy, and I ended up being borderline whether I could have this life-saving surgery called the Whipple procedure. And it turned out that I was able to have the Whipple procedure, but the term surgery grimmed me out. It was like, oh boy, that I had to reframe that. I wanted to be able to have the surgery, but I needed to kind of soften the name of it. So I called it Operation Hope. And Operation Hope took place on June 17th, 2019. And I had excellent results. They removed the tumor in its entirety. No lymph nodes were affected. I was able to save my entire stomach. They were able to have good margins. And I had my miracle. And they recommended that I go back for 4 additional rounds of chemo, but it didn't feel right to me. And at that time, my doctor oncologist was out of the country for a few weeks. And so I asked for a pass till he got back. I wanted to see what his recommendation was. And when he returned, I was nervously holding this intention of not having additional chemo because I was starting to feel good. I hadn't had chemo in almost 4 months at that point, and my hair was starting to grow back. I was starting to return to have a good taste for food and water again. Um, and I was just starting to feel good. I was only down to 1 nap a day at that point, and I didn't want to go backwards. And he came into the room, and in his way, he said, I recommend no more additional treatment because there's no evidence of disease. And I was like, cool. Because I don't want to say you're cured or they just say there's no evidence of disease. It's like, let's downplay it as much as we can. Yes. And I'm jumping around and asking him if I could hug him. My parents were with me in the room, and we all just were so, so grateful. And I wrote Ultimate Guide to Surviving Pancreatic Cancer blog and 6 other blogs about my journey to give people hope, because the statistics for pancreatic cancer are so grim. Rounding up, they say about 60,000 people in 2020 will be diagnosed with it, and 50,000 people will die. So very grim statistics, and 2 of the people that I wrote about in my Ultimate Guide have passed away this year. Ruth Bader Ginsberg and Alex Trebek, both from pancreatic cancer.
Oh, wow.
And my best friend, we've been friends for 55 years, since kindergarten. She has pancreatic cancer.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
She is going to have the same surgery, the Whipple procedure, in December. So I was able to help her also with her journey. And another, shocking, how could it be? You're an athlete, you take good care of yourself. How could it be? And how could 2 friends have the same thing?
No joke.
But asking yourself those questions just kind of drives you crazy because there's no answer.
You're right.
So that's where the positivity comes in. How can I flourish in the moment now if I'm in the hospital and I'm sick? And what can I do right now to change the way that I'm feeling?
And that's for everything, because we're speaking today in a year and a month where people have had so many different problems and stresses and anxieties. So yes, so I want to spend some time talking about this vibration of gratitude and what we're actually doing in our bodies when we shift to this energy. Listen, when I think of you, you talk about your story with pancreatic cancer, but when I think of you, that is not what I think of. When I think of you, I think of gratitude and joy and love, and you emanate a peace from you, and you're very intentional every moment of your day, at least the moments that I have spent with you. So I would love for the viewer to really understand, you didn't probably get that way overnight. You created a practice for yourself. And talk to us a little bit about the practice and also that vibration that we're creating when we do this.
Yeah. So right before I started to feel sick, I was guided. I work with the angels. And so I was guided to start a Facebook private group called Angel Circle of Gratitude. And it wasn't too long before I couldn't moderate that group anymore. I just didn't have the bandwidth in my life. So gratitude has always been on the forefront of my life. Like, I've done gratitude journals and gratitude jars. And my last gratitude jar that I did, it was too small. I had to get a bigger jar. So like halfway through the year, I ran out. And so I got a huge jar. And
I love that.
Yeah. And so that's the thing, right? We're all vibration. Everything in the universe is vibration. So gratitude is a higher vibration than worry, stress, anxiety. Uh, it is up there with love and appreciation and joy. And so when you are practicing gratitude, and it could be by doing a gratitude walk, what am I thankful for today? So in our Facebook group, we are focusing on a deep dive on gratitude, and we're inviting people to say 3 things that they're grateful for that day and why. Like, you need to know why you're grateful. You need to really feel it in your body and to savor that goodness, right? So the more good you can put into your body, and I'm not just talking about nutrition, but content and vibration and filling yourself up with uplifting people and like reading good books and things that fill you up. I'm very sensitive, so I can't like unsee an image that's disturbing to me. So I don't like to watch TV or scary movies or like be in situations where there's a lot of anger. That's really draining for me. So if that happens, then like I can hardly wait to get home and like take an Epsom salts bath. That like starts to replenish me and like let that stuff go. So there's like many ways that a person could express gratitude and could choose to uplift themselves. You could go for a walk in your neighborhood and look for the beauty, even in a, a neighborhood where we have an abandoned old gas station near us. And even walking past that, there's a beautiful little plant that's growing through a crack in the dirt. And like, you couldn't baby that plant enough in a pot. And this thing is growing in a crack in the sidewalk. And we don't get much rain here in California during April to November. So like it gets enough, it's flourishing where it is. It's like blooming where it's planted. And that is a really good metaphor for me, instead of asking, why did this happen, to know like, what is the blessing? And there were so many blessings. Like my family, we were just cradled and held and loved and supported every day. Even now, people are still praying for me. I have a family friend that sends me a text every Sunday that he's praying for me. And it's just like such a beautiful love spiral. And we're so connected. And this thing with the COVID this year, we realize how interdependent we are on each other and how beautifully we're connected in this world.
That is so important to understand that last thing you just said. Okay, listen, I'm going to back you up a few sentences. So speaking of reading a really good book, you are a multiple time author. Can you tell us a little bit about the books that you've authored and what they're about and all that good stuff?
So it's a series of devotionals, and this is 4 of them. And this was the first one. I did it with blue, and I just put this picture that I took from Pacific Grove, California as oh, let's see what this looks like. And it's like, oh, that's the cover. And it was so beautiful. So it's loosely based on the chakras, but I started with the throat chakra, the blue chakra 5. I didn't know it at the time, but that's what happened. And it's a series of daily devotionals, 31, and they have a picture and a message. And the 4th book that I did that came out on, and I love numbers, I'm a numbers geek. This came out 8/8/2018. And this, I didn't take the photographs in this book, but my friend Karen Troy did, and this is a
Beautiful.
beautiful picture of the Merced River in Yosemite National Park in California. And so this book has a daily affirmation and a brief devotional message. And so I had planned on doing a series of 7, and I wanted to have it done by my 60th birthday, but that didn't happen. So I have 3 more in the works to complete my series of 7, and I'm looking forward to doing that. So I have the red one to do, which is the root chakra, the crown chakra, and the third eye. So purple and indigo.
Nice.
And that will complete my set of 7. So.
And you also did some cards.
Yeah, I have some angel cards that I was guided to do, which that's a story in and of itself. So here's the back of my angel card, and I just pulled one to show you, and this is the message of serenity. And so it has a word and then a brief message. And it can be used as an oracle, as a devotional, as something, a focal point. And then with my friend Becky, we have a business called Wellbeing and Wonder, and these are our Word of Wisdom guidance cards. And this message is about courage, and it says, your heart will carry you through.
Beautiful.
So this is
that's my card today. And
that's
almost
your card today. Yeah. And you'll notice that it matches Laura's outfit today.
Yes,
the courage
we didn't
card.
plan that.
Yes. No, you can't make this stuff up.
So. I know it. Okay, so in my own personal mindfulness and awareness practice, I know there's nothing better than gratitude, honestly, in terms of using it as a tool to shift my energy when I am catching myself in the low vibes, just having a not so good of a day, and I want to shift to joy. Honestly, it's that simple, right? So I've used gratitude on bad days to kind of move from a fear state or doubt or just the worry. And oh man, we have some things right now that everyone is a little bit stressed out about, a lot of different things. But what would you share with people who they understand that gratitude practice, but they're still getting a little stuck in those bad days, maybe stuck and stuck for a little too long, if you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I think having those times when you feel bad and when you feel lousy is a really good experience, because it's like, I don't want to feel this way. How can I pivot to a point that feels better? And so by doing that, like, either ask yourself, what is the blessing in this situation? Or why am I feeling? A lot of us are empathic and we pick up other people's stuff and we don't even know really why we're feeling the way we are. That happened to me a couple of weeks ago, and then I journaled a list of things that were going on. It's like, oh, well, no wonder. And then I was able to shift that to, what is the miracle? What is the blessing of the closed door that happened in my life?
Well, you're talking about shifting with questions, which I love. Right? So
yes,
why does that work? Yeah, so I'm taking my notes here.
Yes. So yeah, we're actually raising our vibrations. We're all vibrations. And so going from a lower vibration, and any incremental step up you can go. So the highest is love, appreciation, joy, gratitude. It's all up in that upper stratosphere of vibration. And that's where I love to live, right? I mean, we all want to live there, but life happens, and sometimes it's a roller coaster, sometimes it's way down. But like when I was having my surgery, and when I was going through chemo, when I was feeling bad 12 days out of 14, I could think there are better days ahead. I know I'm going to be well. I was told that cancer would be with me for a season, but her lessons would last a lifetime. And so when the angel shared that with me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be fine, but it's going to take a process, and that I can share my journey with others to give them hope and to say that this is possible. You can feel bad, be sick, walking through the valley of the shadow of death, and there's always something to be grateful for. I was grateful for my medical team. I was grateful for the love and support of friends and family and even strangers that were praying for me. Um, and it just is, it's like a cozy wrap that you can just envelop yourself in, this sense of gratitude instead of feeling worry and stress and anxiety. You can shift to say, oh, I choose. So that's intention, right? Today I choose this. So today I choose to focus on joy. And so what we focus on grows. So if we're looking at all the bad things and the worries that we have, right, we're going to get more of that. It's going to grow and like escalate. So if we shift and want to look at what is going right, um, and what our blessings are, that is going to be magnified, and we're going to receive more of that. So it's a beautiful upward spiral, gratitude.
Well, you've mentioned a few things just now, just summarize. That's what I was writing down. You move into the questions as one way to shift. You move into journaling as another way to shift. And of course, you use your affirmations as a powerful way to shift. And so I just wanted to kind of list a few things. There are so many, you guys,
Yeah.
from the walk that you mentioned earlier to turning on the music to really just reaching for something that makes you smile a little bit and brings you some joy even for a few seconds. And
Right.
what you said
Right.
about everything expanding, that's the most important piece here. So what you're stuck in will expand. So when we have the awareness, then we can choose. And so I think that's really the power of the practice, right?
Right. 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 And the thing that helped me was I had a word of the year. I've been choosing a word of the year for the last several years. And in 2019, my word was flourish. And 4 days into the year was when I got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Oh,
So,
wow.
how can I flourish?
Hmm.
How can I flourish? And that word really helped me, like being a strong plant rooted in the ground, despite the blowing winds and rains. I could flourish where I was. And that really helped me. And I have an event coming up. It's a free event coming up on December 29th. And it's going to be selecting your word of the year, because it's so important that you have this focal point um, for the expansion of what it is you want to call more in of that into your life.
I love that. And I think having that focal point, like you say, just gives you such an easy tool and an easy reminder. I know I need my reminders every day. Sometimes all day long, I
Right,
need reminders. So what
right,
an
right.
easy way to do it with a beautiful word. So you're going to have a workshop about this.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yes. And don't worry, you guys, because I'm going to hook you up in the show notes with the information about that so that you can sign up and you're going to be able to explore Janette and everything she's doing on her website, angel-angles.com. But I've got that in there too. So don't worry. Janette, thank you so much for what you're doing in the world and for being
Mhm.
here to share it with us.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm here to live my life. I feel like I got my miracle and that every day is a chance to start anew and to shine my light. So that's what I'm doing. And with the heart of gratitude, and my word this year is celebrate.
Yay. Yeah, you know that that's one of my favorite ones.
Yes,
I
yes,
share in your love for the word celebrate. I love it.
yep, yep. My
And
necklace is celebrate, and then it has a little bead for essential oil. But yeah, it's always around me this year. So that's another focal point.
beautiful. All right, you guys, if you want a very positive movement towards shifting that energy, shifting into gratitude, shifting into love and joy and appreciation and peace, you know where to find Janette. And believe me, she is going to help you get there.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for watching this today. And please leave us some comments if you have any, add your 2 cents. And I'll leave you guys with this best favorite question of mine. What if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything, right?
Great question.
See you
Yep.
next time, you guys.
Thank you.
Love what you heard today. Don't forget to drop down and hit that subscribe button, you guys, and then join me over at bravehealer.com for just a little bit more healing badassery. Have a great one.